Okay, welcome. This is the Young Family Tai Chi Section 2 class. And today we are going to start diagonal flying. But first, I'd like to do a couple of warm-up exercises that I would like you to think about doing as a warm-up. Like do it maybe a couple every day. Just do it by your kitchen counter. And it will increase your hip flexibility and it will help your balance, which you will need later on when we get to kicks and other things. Okay, so the first one I'd like you to do, which is there are going to be a couple of exercises, and the first one is going to be a really simple one. So the first one, you have one foot going toward the corner, and all you're going to do is put the other foot forward, and I want you to point to touch your big toe and then your little toe. And what this does is it opens up your hip joint without requiring you to do much in terms of keeping your balance. Okay, so let's do a couple more of these and then we'll do it on the other side. Okay, so you have big toe and then little toe, big toe and then little toe, big toe, little toe, big toe, little toe. Okay, the next one requires a little bit more balance. So do this by the kitchen counter if you do not have very good balance. And that is stand on one leg and move your hip around. Okay, so you're going to move your hip around. And you should be able to feel that your leg is moving in its hip socket. And we'll do the other side. And you'll find that later on when you do kicks and stuff, you will find that this is helpful. Okay. All right. Now, what I'd like to do as a warm-up is to do what we know a couple of times. Okay, so we'll start from cross hands. I'm going to turn around and go that and do it the same direction as you. And I'll call it. And then if you have any questions, please ask them, because very often you think of questions while you're doing it. Okay, so let's start here where I cross hands. Embrace tiger, return to mountain. Shift right. Turn the left foot almost to straight. Open up your hands as you shift your weight back. Pull back your right foot, swing, step. One hand in, one hand out. Shift weight, strike. Roll back. Roll, pull, make your hands into the roll back shape as you move your weight back. Then turn to the side. Press, pull in the right, attach the left, and expand forward toward the corner. Push, square up to the corner, flatten your hands, roll over a ball, hands in front of your chest, and push. Fist under elbow. Shift weight back, flatten your hands. Turn and pull all the way around. Press down, release the left foot, ward off with the left, and push out with the right. Step and connect. grab and step. Hold down, make your fist, pivot your left foot, root your left heel, lift and punch. Step back and repulse monkey. Swing, step. Hand to shoulder, push. Swing, step. Hand to shoulder, strike. Swing, step. Hand to shoulder, strike. How did we do? Hopefully you didn't cross your feet when you did your repulse monkey. That's the part that's hardest because you can't see when you're stepping backwards. And sometimes people cross their feet.
Rita,
Yes, Kelly? Yeah.
one question. When you strike, do you bend? Do you do a little bend? Or is it
Actually, no, I don't do a bend. But what happens is that when I am at fist under elbow here, okay, I am at empty step, heel touch, right? And if you look, I am slightly forward. In other words, I'm not upright, I'm forward. So when I do this, I stay forward. Can you see that my body angle is forward?
Yeah.
So when I come back, I'm forward. And the striking comes from my waist turn. Okay, that's where the strength comes. So it comes up your leg into your waist turn, and that's how you get your energy.
Okay.
So let's start from fist under elbow, and let's do 3 of the repulse monkeys, okay? So if fist under elbow, it's your right fist that's striking. Your left foot is an energy stance. So you open, swing step, flatten your foot, hand comes to the shoulder, and then you turn and strike. So your body turns and your front foot turns. Okay, swing step, flatten your foot, hand comes to the shoulder, turn and strike. Swing step, hand comes to the shoulder, turn and strike. One of the things that I was talking about requiring leg strength is when you're doing repulse monkey, you're supposed to stay at the same level. So when you're here, when I come back, you see that my leg is slightly bent, and I'm using my bent leg to keep my shoulder at the same level. Can you see that? So let's do a bunch of repulse monkeys and do a little more review on that front. One of the things is that when you're doing repulse monkey, when you come out, you're basically coming, when you're here, you're 70% in the front and 30% in the back. Then when you push, you're pushing off that front and you're transferring so that 70% goes on the back and 30% remains in the front. You see what I'm saying? Basically, you're changing your weight distribution so that when you're here, your empty stance, 30% in the front, 70% in the back. When you come back here, you're 70% in the front, 30 in the back. And then 70 in the back, 30 in the front. And you come back. Once your heel comes down, you have 30% in the back. And then as you turn your waist, basically turn your foot, turn your waist, and strike. You have your 70-30 in the opposite way. Okay.
That's interesting, Rita, because I always put my weight on my back foot. Once I step back, that's where I have my weight. No, that's not.
You have to push off the front, because when you're pushing, you know, you're striking. So if you're in the back already, you have nothing to, no energy to push with.
Okay.
You know, so push off the front into the back.
Okay. I never realized that before. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. So let's do that a few more times, okay? So you're at the end of fist under elbow, okay? So your swing step, once your heel comes down and your hands at the shoulder ready to strike, then turn and strike. You're pushing off that front heel. Swing step, flatten the foot, you're ready to strike, turn and strike. Swing step, flatten the foot, ready to strike, turn and strike. Does that make more sense?
Yeah, Rita, that's much better.
Okay, so
More stable.
yeah, it should be more stable. And what happens is when you're doing your swing step, all you're doing is contact. You know, it's just like when you're doing swing brush knee. Okay, when you're here, all you're doing is contact. There's nothing on the front foot when you swing step, right? There's nothing. It's not until you come forward and strike that you really get your weight in the front. And it's transferring that weight that gives you the power to strike. Well, here it's similar, except you're going backwards. So when you're coming back, you're here, swing step, there's nothing there. Then flatten, get ready to strike, strike. Swing step, flatten, get it ready to strike, strike. Swing step, flatten, get ready to strike, strike.
So the turning of the foot also helps you with
The turning of you're turning your body and your foot at the same time.
Yes.
And you should feel like that energy is being pushed off the front into the back as you turn.
Okay. Okay.
So what you're doing here is when you come here, when you're coming here, you're getting ready to strike. What you're doing here is that this is a grabbing hand. You're grabbing somebody and striking. So you should get that feeling of one in and one out. You know what I'm saying? You're pulling and striking. So that's why that turn works so well, because
Yeah, and it's more force.
yeah, and it's more force. Okay,
Okay.
now let's start the more difficult move. Okay, I'm going to do it in the direction that it's supposed to be, and then I'll do it the opposite way, 180 degrees, so that you can see where my hands are. Because if I do it the way you're, the same way you're doing it, you can follow, but you can't see anything. So, okay. So at the end of the 3 repulsed monkeys, you're here, okay? What you're going to do is you're going to turn, step, and diagonal one. So at the end, your footwork is this foot is this way and this foot is to the corner, and you have a bow stance. So what's hard about this? I'll do it from this side. Okay, so if we're here, okay, I just struck. So what I'm going to do is I'm turning, bringing my foot in, stepping out. So what does this require? This requires that you can stand on one leg, on your left leg, and when you step out, you can step out and have your hips wide enough that you can come in. So you can tell yourself, you can figure out, you know, how flexible are your hips? In other words, if you're here with your foot facing that way, and you step out here, can you do it? And if not, we should do a modification, because if your hips can't spread wide enough, your stance is going to be too narrow at the end and you'll be out of balance. So I'll show you how to do it the way you're supposed to first, and then we'll work on the other way. So the idea here is you're at the end here. And well, let's do the footwork first. So you're at an empty stance with your heel. You're going to come in and step out and then pull in. And you're going to have a bow stance when you come in, at your end position. The important thing is to have a bow stance at the end. So if we do the modified step footwork, I'll show you the modified footwork. It's much easier. Okay, so if you're in an empty stance here, what you're going to do is you're just going to step behind. Then you're going to pivot this so that it's straight. And then you're going to make your bow stance.
That's what you did for Fair Lady Shuttle. That's kind of the same.
That's exactly the same as the Fair Lady Shuttle, right?
Perfect.
So that's, yeah, because I was talking to Pierre about that, and and it works better for the Fair Lady Shuttle in terms of the timing, because it works better with the hands.
Yeah.
Here, let me show you how the hands, well, let's work on the hands. Okay, so if you're like this, your hands are forward. Once the right is forward, I'll do it this way. The right is forward, okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to close. So if I'm doing it from the front, I'm going to open and close. And then when I step, it's going to come up. So it's actually similar to moves that you've done before, like white crane, you know, you came together like this, or right ward off, you had this shape, and in right ward off, you came like this. Here, what you're going to do instead is you're going to go like this. So it's kind of similar. It's a little bigger. Okay, so if you have one, if you finish striking with the right and you have your hand, left hand at your hip, then you open, close, and then like toss a frisbee. Okay,
It's like roll the ball and then toss the frisbee.
and roll the ball and then toss the frisbee. Yep. Okay, but the danger in the terms of toss the frisbee is you want to make sure when you toss the frisbee, this hand is pushing down. You're not, ta-da.
That's so much more dramatic though.
Because in terms of the application, what you're doing is you're grabbing somebody and, well, in the application, you're actually hitting them in the ribs. So it's lower, but here we're in the form, we make it a little higher. Okay. So let's do the hands a few more times. Okay. So is it easier if I go this way?
Yeah, in
Okay.
the right direction. Yeah.
In the right direction. Okay. So so here I'm up, my hand is up, and here I finished striking. So I'm opening, closing, and then diagonal flying. Again. So we just finished striking. We close and then open. Now it's with the footwork, it's a lot different with the footwork because there's so much turning. Okay, so if I do it in the direction so that you can see my hands, so I would be here. So my shoulders are facing that corner. Okay, when I come around and pull in my foot, I'm facing this corner. Then step and close. Open and turn my foot, shift weight. So if you do it the traditional way, what happens is you're here, you turn, step and close, shift weight, strike. So the things that are important are when you're doing it from here, as you open and pull your foot in, you should turn your shoulders to the corner because otherwise it will be very difficult for you to step out. Okay, so you're here. Then you step out and close. Then you shift and yes, let's try that again. Okay. Here, step and close. Shift, wait, start. So what makes it difficult? One, doing it slowly makes it difficult. If you do it faster, it's much, much easier. But you're supposed to do the form all at an even pace. So that's why we're doing it slowly. The second thing, yeah.
How do the arms move if you're doing the easier way?
Okay, so the easier way, you go like this. Okay, you're starting here. You step behind and you close as you turn your foot. Then you shift your weight back.
Step.
You
And step and then do it. Okay, got it.
Step and open. So essentially, in terms of the timing, it will seem like there's a hesitation. Okay, because here, instead of going like this, what you're going to do is you're going like this. You're stepping, shifting your foot, and then opening. But the advantage of this is that you have a good bow stance to the corner. Okay, so you're sure to get a good bow stance to the corner, because what happened here was you stepped back and you turned your foot. So you've established the back foot. Then you make your bow stance and come out, and you're sure to get the right distance and the right weight distribution. So I would strongly encourage you, especially if you're doing this for the first time, to use the modification. Okay, so let's do it with the modification, and I'm going to go the same way as you. Okay, so at the end of repulse monkey, what's going to happen is that we're here. Okay, we just did our strike. Then we're going to step back behind. Okay, turn the left foot so that it's straight, shift weight, and then make a good bow stance to the corner. Okay, let's do that a couple more times so that we get that. Okay, so what happens is that your left foot is pointed to the corner. Your right heel is an empty stance. You just did your strike. Your left hand is by your hip. You're going to start circling. So as you start circling, you're still going to turn toward that corner as you step. Then you pivot and hands come together. Shift weight to the back, step, and diagonal line. The other thing when I was telling you about don't go like this, the other thing that happens is that when, here, I'll show it to you from this side. So here. So if I'm coming back and turn and step, the other thing that sometimes happens in line with going like this is having your knee go too far forward. If you have your knee go too far forward, then it is bad for your knee, but also it torques your back knee. So you want to keep your knees lined up with your toes, okay? So be a little careful about, not being too enthusiastic about diagonal spine, okay? So did you like it better when I'm going your way or the other way? Preference?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter? Okay, then I'll do it your way because I think it's easier to follow if I'm doing it your way. Okay, so we're here, left leg pointed toward the corner, empty stance on the heel, left hand by the hip, right hand just finished striking. Okay, so we're turning and stepping behind, then closing and turning the left foot. Shift the weight to the left, step and open. How did that feel?
Good. Good for me.
Okay, good.
Good.
Any questions?
Can you talk about the meaning of it, what you're doing when you're, what are you doing?
Okay, this one is an odd one in the sense that what you're doing is, okay, I'm going to do it this way so you can see my hands. So here, when you're here, you're turning and you're basically grabbing and then striking. In some applications, you're actually going to contact with the left, with the right, transfer it to the left, and then strike. It depends on how the opponent is coming. But the idea is here is a grabbing, and here is a striking. And so that's why you have the yin and yang, right? You have pull and strike. And the energy goes toward the strike, right? Because your weight is going this way.
Thank you.
Okay,
Rita,
so
quick
yes,
question. If you're doing it not the modified way,
yeah,
the regular way,
yeah,
can you bring your foot over, when you bring your right foot out, where is your weight? Is it all the way on your left foot when
Yes.
your hands first go
Okay.
like this? And are you like in the middle or facing your left leg?
That is the danger for this move. The reason people lose their balance is one of two reasons, usually. One is that they don't have enough flexibility that they can open wide enough. And the second reason is they aren't separating empty and full. So if you're here and you're here, everything is on this leg, right? And then step, everything is still on this leg. Transfer.
Okay.
So at the point of stepping, it's just like brush knee. Remember when you did brush knee? Step. There's no weight on there. Strike.
Okay,
Here.
so your weight is still on your left.
All the weight is still on the left. So you're started facing this way. You're turning this way. this foot is empty, right? Because it's getting ready to step.
And when you are doing that, are you facing your left leg or are you in the middle? Are you over your left leg or are you centered in the middle? You know what I'm saying? But while all your weight's still on your left and you've done your hands, are you
Okay, so
facing?
let me think about a good direction to do this in. Okay, if I am here, okay, when I am turning, so here, as I open, I'm turning toward that corner and I'm opening up. So I am turning and then stepping.
Okay, so you're straight ahead.
So, yeah, so actually I'm facing that way because I started that way. And then as I'm pulling in, I'm facing that way. So when I close and step, I'm facing that corner.
Okay.
And then when I actually do the diagonal flying, I'm facing that corner. So I'm doing 3 corners, okay? I started at that corner, or in the correct position, I started at that corner. As I turn, I'm going to that corner, but at the end, I'm going that corner. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I was just going slow, like you said, and when I was going slow is when I'm like, oh, okay, what am I doing now? You know, it is hard to go slow. Of what
It's hard to do it slow.
Yeah.
But yes, Yali?
So Rita, so the right foot, when you transfer doing the frisbee, transfer weight, and
Yeah.
you still do the heel bow toe, or just heel toe?
Well, you can do heel ball toe actually, because when you're here, when you step, you only have your heel, right? And well, I guess it's just flatten your foot, because it's not really heel ball toe. You just flatten your foot when you get there.
And then do your upper torso go with the waist
Yes.
direction a little bit?
Yes. So what happens is when you're here, okay, I'm turning, stepping, everything moves at once.
So, Rita, so the balance of the weight. When
Yeah.
I try to do the turn, I start from the turn, and it's always a little hard for me to turn my waist and my torso away from my knee, which I'm trying not to turn. So
Yes.
if I can do all that, but then I'm trying to step and shift my weight. If I start shifting to the middle, that's when it really is. That's when I might lose my balance. That's when my knee starts to pull, and so I feel like I need to maybe. It's hard for me to keep the balance just on the left leg if I've shifted my weight over. You know.
Well, you're okay. So here, when you're here, all your weight is on the left foot, right? Shift, your weight is still on the left.
Okay, maybe I'm reaching too far or too far back or something.
The reason I emphasize having flexible hips is that if you do not have flexible hips, Many people compensate by moving their knees in a not very good position. So if you cannot get it where your knees line up with your foot, then you should use the modified way until your hips are flexible enough that you can keep your knees lined up with your foot during the whole movement. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, sometimes I'm able to do it exactly right, but other times it's just sort of like a struggle, so.
Yeah, it's practice, yes, unfortunately. But yeah, the thing that helps though is the body turn. Because when you're here, if you do the body turn, then you're part of the way already. You see what I'm saying? If you stay straight, it would be really difficult to do. But in some ways, though, if you do not have a flexible hip joint, the turn will make your knee problem worse. If you are not turning at your hip joint, what you will do is you will turn at the knee. So watch it. In other words, be aware of what is turning. You know, if you cannot, try to increase the flexibility of your hip, because here, when you're coming here, one of the things that'll help is as you come here, sink on this leg. And then when you come out, it will be easier. Unfortunately, sinking on your leg means you have to have a stronger leg. So that's where the trade-off comes in. Does that help, Marion?
Yeah, I think I have fairly flexible hips now after a year of trying to trying to do that. But my legs are still not as strong as I'd like them to be. I think that's part of it. So.
Yeah, because you have to be able to sing, have all your weight on that leg, and then step out.
Well, what I find that I've been thinking a lot about, you're supposed to have a relaxed waist and a relaxed, lower your tailbone and all that, but it's really easy to make that tense when you're trying to do this move.
It is really easy to make it tense. And what you should think of is making your lower body heavy. If you concentrate on that, it's easier to keep your upper body light. That's why I want you to sink on that left leg. That makes it really heavy. And then it makes it easier to move the right leg because it's light.
It is easier, yes.
So that's why I was talking about separating empty and full. Make that left leg super full so that the right leg is super light to move out. Try to give that, just give it a try and see if that helps. Okay, so let's do this a couple more times and then we'll do it from step back repulse monkey. Okay, so just doing diagonal flying. Okay, we have the left foot going to the corner, empty stance on the heel touch with the right, left hand at your hip, right hand, you just finished striking. Okay? As you circle your hands, turn toward the corner, pull in, step and close. Turn. Now I'm going to do a couple times of the modified way. Okay, so same thing. So what we're going to do is same thing in terms of the upper body. We're going to turn toward that corner, but then we're going to step back. Then pivot your heel as you close your hands. Then shift weight to the left, step out, and diagonal one. So let's do that again. So left foot facing that way, empty stance on the heel, left hand by the hip, right hand just finished striking. We're going to circle and turn toward that corner as you step. Then as you close, pivot the left, shift weight to the left, step out and open. How did that feel? Just out of curiosity, are we like half and half in terms of people doing it the traditional way versus the modified way?
I'm doing modified.
You're doing modified?
Yeah,
Modified.
I do
Modified.
traditional.
You're doing to
traditional most of the time.
okay,
I didn't know the modified weight, but it's better for me.
yeah.
Traditional.
If you have any knee problems, do the modified way.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and Yali, you said you were doing the traditional way, right?
I do.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, let me do a couple more times the modified way for the benefit of the people who are doing it that way. Since generally speaking, people who are doing the modified way are less experienced. So let's do a little bit more practice for them. Okay. So we're going to start empty stance, heel touch. And then you just finish striking with the right. Circle, turn toward the corner and step. Then pivot the left as you close. Shift weight to the left, step, and open. One of the advantages of the modified way also is that you're sure to root before you open. Because sometimes with the traditional way, people lose track of the coordination, and then they end up either opening before they're fully rooted or vice versa. So think about rooting first and then opening. Okay, so let's do it once more the modified way. Okay, so here you just finished striking. You are turning and stepping, closing and pivoting, shift weight to the back, step, and then open. Okay, let's connect that to repulse monkey. Okay, so let's start at fist under elbow. So we're here. Right fist just finished punching. The left foot is forward for empty stance, heel touch. So swing, step, hand to the shoulder, flatten foot, turn and strike. Swing, step, hand to the shoulder, turn and strike. Swing, step, hand to the shoulder, turn and strike. Diagonal flying. I'm going to do it the traditional way first. So we're going to turn, step, and open. Okay, now I'll do it the modified way and we'll start at fist under elbow once again. Okay, so we're here. Swing, step. Hand to the shoulder, swing, step, hand to the shoulder, turn and strike. Swing, step, hand to the shoulder, turn and strike. Diagonal flying. You're going to circle your hands and step. So as you're facing the corner, you step. Close your hands and pivot. Shift weight to the back and diagonal flying. Okay, we'll do that one more time. Okay, so we're at fist under elbow. Swing, step, hand to the shoulder, turn and strike. Swing, step, hand to the shoulder, turn and strike. Swing, step, hand to the shoulder, turn and strike. Diagonal flying. Circle your hands, step, pivot and close. Shift weight back, step, and open. How did that feel?
It went a lot better for me.
Good. Yeah, a big part of the trick of this is separating empty and full, making sure that you're not double weighted. Not only is it bad for your knees, but also it's bad for your balance. So let's do it one time from cross hands and then we'll close back. Okay, I'm going to turn around. I'll do it the same direction as you. Okay. Cross hands. Shift right, right. Turn the left foot almost to straight. Embrace tiger, return to mountain. Swing, step. One hand out, one hand in. Shift weight, strike. Roll back. Circle the left, raise the right. Make your rollback shape as you shift weight back. Turn to the side. Press, pull in the right, attach the left. Press forward toward the corner. Push, square up to the corner, flatten your hands. Pull back over a ball, hands in front of your chest. Push forward. Fist under elbow. Shift weight back, flatten your hands. Pull and turn all the way around. Push down, release the left foot. Ward off with the left hand, push out with the right. Fist under elbow. Well, this is the second half of fist under elbow. Connect and step. Grab and step. Pull down, make your fist, pivot your left toe. Root the heel, lift up, punch. Step back, repulse monkey. Swing, step. hand to the shoulder, turn and strike. Swing, step, hand to shoulder, turn and strike. Swing, step, hand to the shoulder, turn and strike. Diagonal fly. Circle the hands, step back, pivot the left foot and close, shift weight to the back, step and open. Okay? Well, thank you for coming to class.
Oh.
And I'll see you next time.
Thank you, Rita. Thank you.
Thank you, Rita.
Oh, you're
thank you, Rita.
welcome.
Thank you,
Thank
Rita.
you
That was
very
good.
much. Great class.
Thank you.
Rita. Thank
Hi,
you.
Marion.
Hey, hi.
Bye-bye.
We're still asking questions. What's my hair doing?
You guys are doing a tag team.
We are, yeah. We did that to Cheryl too. No, your directions are fabulous, Rita. I'm really, yeah, and all the alternate ways of doing things are really
I feel like
helping.
I talk too much, you know, like there
No.
are a whole bunch of words that fit into one move. You know what I mean?
Well, what I found in most of the instructors, they can only talk about what 3 of their limbs are doing.
Yeah.
They can, like, you can do your arms, but there's always one foot that they don't quite get in. We can't
Well,
hear you. You're muted, Marion.
Sorry. The problems I've encountered doing this are numerous. This particular move, it's been really hard for a year and a half. But your explanation of the common problems, like the double weighted, or not, I mean, the not separating empty and full, really is very helpful for me. Because it's
well, I'm
about,
glad.
you know, I mean, if I don't have it exactly right, I'm just powering through it and dragging my knee along, and it's not comfortable at all.
Don't drag your knee along.
Yeah.
But the weight distribution on the monkey thing, I want to put my weight on the back foot when I first put it back.
Yeah.
But then
Don't do that.
and you can't shift it forward when you press. You got to keep it always on, because that's really hard for me to keep that
Think
weight
about,
on
like,
the front.
if you were actually trying to hit somebody, you wouldn't like lean all the way back and go push. Like you'd
Well,
have
I might to
power,
get a
right?
well,
So
I might to get a good go at it. Yeah, I might to get a good and then step forward.
well, yeah, but you're gathering energy from stepping back. I mean, that's, you know, and you translate that into how you move forward.
Well, my gathering of energy gets me off balance when I try to put my weight on my front foot.
Yeah.